Raise your hand if you find it hard to stay consistent with your email marketing. One of the best ways to stay consistent with your email marketing is to send a weekly newsletter. Once you have the framework for the newsletter, it's basically rinse and repeat. You don't have to come up with brand new ideas every email. You can just plug in the pieces to the framework. So let's talk about how to write email newsletters that don't suck. But first, if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure that you grab my email marketing copy templates, which are at the link in the description. Those are going to help you get started with your automated emails. Now let's go through 3 simple frameworks you can use to write a weekly email newsletter that people actually want to read. The first framework you can use to create your weekly email newsletter is to have sections that are the same for every email. They just have different information in them. This is a popular type of newsletter because once you set your sections, you don't really have to think about what to write about. You've already got this guide. So for example, let's say that you are a food blogger. You might have a weekly email newsletter that goes out every Monday that shares an article about health that your audience just has to read, and you put a little blurb what the article's about. You share your favorite recipe that week, and then you share a playlist that you curated for the week of songs that are great to cook to. That's just an example of how you have a 3-section email newsletter and you just change out the info every week. Your audience will love this type of newsletter because it gives them little bite-sized information that they can take action on quickly. So they can go make the recipe or listen to the playlist or read the article. Another great thing about this type of newsletter is that you can easily pull out each of those sections and make them a social post. On to number 2, storytelling. So another type of weekly email newsletter you can send out is a story. So this story could be about you, it could be about one of your clients, or it could be something that happened in the public eye that relates to your audience that you want to tell a story about. Make sure that the story is relevant and that the moral of the story has something to do with what you sell. It's easier to transition into the sale that way at the end of the email. Your audience will love this type of email because it's great for relationship building. People love stories, they want to read stories, and this is a great way for them to get to know you through your stories. The third framework for a weekly newsletter is what I like to call a few of my favorite things. This is where you share things that you're loving, reading, watching, doing, using, just things that you love. The best part about this type of email is that it's really easy to be consistent because all you have to do is sit down and think, okay, what are 3 things I'm loving this week? You really don't have to think about it, don't have to do a bunch of research, so it's very easy for you to be consistent to send out an email every week. Your audience will love this type of email because they love to discover new things. So by sharing some of your favorite things, you'll help them discover new things for themselves. It's also a great way to connect with people. So if they also love the same things, that's a connection point that you can use to build a stronger relationship. So any of these 3 frameworks you can use to create a newsletter that people actually want to read. Choosing the best one for you is just going to depend on you and your audience. So for you, think about which one of these is easiest to do consistently. The storytelling framework might be more difficult for people who don't like to write, don't write often, aren't super creative, whereas the things I'm loving this week or the sectional newsletter might be easier for you to rinse and repeat every single week. Now, when it comes to your audience, you really want to think about what type of information do they find valuable. So if you have a very, let's say you're B2B, you have a very corporate audience, they're not so much going to enjoy the storytelling, but maybe the sectional type of email. So pick the one that makes sense for you and start writing. If you find out later on in the process that you picked a framework that you don't really love, you can always change it up. And before you go, if you want more marketing goodness, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to grab my 3 email marketing copy templates so that you can get started with your automated email sequences. Until next time.